welcome back to Homestead Corner. Today I have got a bunch of shelf-stable items that you can get for $1 or less for your prepper pantry. In this economy, I think it is so important to make sure our pantries are as full as possible. And with the prices rising and people are losing their jobs all over the place, I know the TV says the economy is wonderful. And I have had some comments from people that think the economy is wonderful. If I had that much money, I definitely wouldn't have to be careful at the grocery store. But the rest of us who realize that things are more expensive and it's harder and harder to keep our pantries full, I think it's important that we look at what kind of items can we get for $1 or less, so we can keep those pantries full and make sure we have good foods to feed our families and ourselves. And also a little sweet treat here and there is really nice. It's a great morale booster, and sometimes you just need a little something, you know, gotta have it. So these are a group of items. There's around 40 items here, I think, and I paid about $33 for all of this stuff at Walmart. And look at your local grocery stores. We don't have a lot of options because I live way out in the sticks. So we have Walmart and we have Hannaford, which is the local grocery store, and we have the Dollar Tree. And other than that, I have to drive about an hour to get to any other stores besides, you know, a gas station. So definitely check around your local stores. The more stores you have, the more options you're probably going to have, because I saw a lot of things that were just over $1 that may be a little bit cheaper somewhere else, but you definitely want to look around. These are all items that I was able to get for $1 or less to stick in our pantry. They're all shelf stable, and I think that it is just so important to do the best you can with what you have. So let's jump in and see what we got. So the first thing I grabbed was a couple of tomato products. I've got a tomato sauce and diced tomatoes with green peppers, celery, and onions in it. So I grabbed these instead of the plain diced onions. They were the same exact price, but it's got a little bit more in it, so a little less I have to do to it to spruce this up and make a decent meal out of it. So I can add this just as it is right to pasta, and that's going to be a simple, quick, easy meal. Or if I've got any meat, I can add that in. But you can do a lot of stuff with tomatoes, and the same with your tomato sauce. I really like tomato sauce because I can make pizza sauce, I can make ketchup, barbecue sauce, all kinds of stuff out of the tomato sauce. So that's one of the big staples that we like to keep in our pantry, and I'm happy that I can still get it for under $1. The price is rising, but you know, we do the best we can with what we have. So tomato products are a good one. The next thing that I grabbed were a few vegetables, and you can get a lot of vegetables still under $1. I was able to get diced potatoes. These are great to add into soups or make home fries or all kinds of stuff with these. And also sliced beets. I love beets. I think they are wonderful. I know they're not for everybody, but I grabbed those. And of course you can get corn, green beans, peas, cream corn, those type of things. All the name brand stuff is definitely under $1. Some of your like canned asparagus and stuff like that is going to be over $1. Even spinach is over $1 here, but your area may be a little bit different, so definitely check it out. The other thing that I got was jalapeno peppers. This is great to add flavor and more nutrients to your meals. We like to add them to all sorts of stuff. I love them in fried rices, even casseroles, throwing them in the crock pot when we're making stuff, anything like that. We really love to have those on hand. And also sliced carrots. Our stores do not carry a lot of carrots, and I was surprised to find these under $1 a can. I don't normally buy carrots, and most of my vegetables we can our own. So you'll notice in a lot of my videos, I don't buy much vegetables, but today I really wanted to share what types of things you can get, and vegetables are a big one. Canned fruit was completely off the table in my area. You cannot get any canned fruit whatsoever for under $1. I couldn't find any. And I looked and looked and looked because canned fruit and fruit in general is usually something we struggle with in our pantry. But if you can find it, snap it up. And then I grabbed a beef broth and a chicken broth. These small cans, these are 14.5 ounce cans. Wonderful if you're cooking up some rice or making a soup or anything like that. They're great to have. All of the quart size boxes were well over $1. So I was only able to get cans, but they still work great. And it's the same thing, just in a can instead of a box. And they're probably going to last longer on the shelf than the box ones do. And let's see, then I was able to find a little bit of meat that was under $1. It's very little and they're small containers, but it's protein and you want to make sure you've got protein in your pantries. So I was able to get potted meat. These are wonderful. We just add some mayonnaise to it, maybe some pickles or celery, onions, whatever we have. Make like a ham salad type thing with it. It's really good. We put it on toast or bread or whatever we have at the moment. And then I was able to find some Vienna sausages. These taste like bologna if you've never had them. That's pretty much what it is. It's bologna in a can, little sticks of it. But you can chop this up and put it inside macaroni and cheese. You can put it in a casserole. You can fry these up like breakfast sausages. You can do a lot with these, really. So I think those are great on the shelf because they are so inexpensive and they are, you know, it's protein. It's probably not the best meat for you, but it's meat. And you do what you do when you've got limited money. You got to do all you can do. That's all. And then the next one is canned tuna. The Walmart tuna was the only tuna that I could get a single can under $1. It was 90 cents for this can, 92 cents. And, but that gives you, it has a good amount of protein and it's wonderful to add to tons of recipes. You can do like a tuna helper type thing. You can make it yourself very easily and just add a can of tuna to it. There are lots of different things. You can toss some in your mac and cheese. You can do tons of stuff with it, which I really like that. And also the small packages, these little meat packages of tuna. The chicken was over $1 and these were just under like 96 cents, I think, or 98 cents, but they were really close to $1. And these are great for a single person. If there's just one of you and you don't eat a whole can at a time, these are great. They are a little bit more expensive, but they have seasoning in them, so you don't have to do anything. Just kind of flake it off, throw it in a salad, make a sandwich, do whatever with it. Also great for your emergency bags because it is so thin and it is easily packable and lightweight. So we really like these for those purposes. And along with our protein, I was able to get a couple cans of beans. They had the store brand ones are probably the cheapest that you can get. These are no salt added. I know a lot of people have trouble with salt in their diets. So just look for the no salt added. They're usually the same price. These were exactly the same price in the store for the regular red kidney beans and the black beans with no salt. There was no price difference in them. And also on the vegetables, I noticed they have a lot of no salt added. And I buy either. I really don't care if there's salt in it or not. I don't have a problem with salt. But if they don't have the ones with salt that I normally buy, I buy the no salt, or sometimes you can find them on sale. They're cheaper. So you can add a little salt. Salt's really inexpensive. And let's see. The next thing was soups. And these are definitely not the most nutritious, but you can make soup out of this. And it makes a quick, fast meal for 32 cents. You can't beat that. My kids like to grab a little bit of the dehydrated or freeze-dried vegetables and toss them in there. They will put an egg on top of it, fry up an egg and throw that in to give them some protein. I don't like the flavoring in the packets, but I just get rid of them and I'll use the noodles for stir fries, lo mein, or whatever. We'll make something else with it. But these are great for 32 cents. You can definitely stock up on these, and the noodles are not going to go bad, which is great. And they also have these little cups of noodles that you just add water to. Again, not the most nutritious thing, but it'll feed you. It'll fill your belly, and it'll help add to what you have. So my kids definitely love to throw in some sort of dried vegetables in these, just to beef it up and make it a little bit more like a soup, because it's mostly just broth and noodles. And then I got 2 cans of soup that I was able to find under $1, and these were 68 cents a piece. And it is the chicken noodle condensed soup, so you just add a little water to it, and also tomato soup. Who doesn't love tomato soup? I don't know. I love it. I think it's great. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. One of my favorites. What a great comfort meal. Super inexpensive, and it is pretty good for you. And then I got some seasonings, and I wanted to, because some of this stuff is a little bit bland, some of the other stuff. And adding seasoning to anything can change up a meal. You want to make sure you can change those up. I was not able to get any jars of spices. They're all over $1. I can't find them for under $1 at all, but I was able to get some packets that are pre-mixed, so that's good. And I was able to get a pound of plain salt, just your regular plain table salt, which is great to have on hand. You may not eat it on a regular basis, but when you only have your pantry and you're not eating a lot of prepared foods, you are going to need to add a little bit of salt. It doesn't need to be a lot, but a little bit. We do need that in our bodies. A lot of people that have problems with salt is because prepackaged food is so overloaded with salt. The next thing that I got is just some classic ranch seasoning. This is wonderful to make your dips or dressings, or just seasoned meat. This is wonderful on pork chops, on chicken, all sorts of stuff. It's great in the crock pot, and we really love ranch to add. And then I found this Southern Mills peppered gravy. It looks really good. If you had some sausage, it looks like you could do sausage and biscuits. Gravy and biscuits, yum, yum, yum. And which sounds wonderful, making me hungry. But this pepper gravy mix is 2.75 ounces, and you just whip it up with some water, and you have got a nice little gravy. I am sure any of the gravy mixes, I have used them before just for flavoring. If you are making a pot roast or a stew or soup or anything like that, you may have too much water in there, but it's really going to boost your flavor up. So don't be afraid to try those type of mixes in your soups and things like that. The next thing I got was reduced sodium taco seasoning. They do have the reduced sodium stuff, and from what I'm seeing at the grocery store, it's the same price as the stuff with salt in it. So so definitely look for your reduced sodium if that's what you need for you or someone in your house. And also brown gravy. This is delicious in pot roast. I have used this a bunch of times when I didn't have my regular seasoning on hand. This and a package of Lipton onion soup. You can throw that right in there, and it makes a delicious broth for a pot roast. So you can make your gravy from the broth, which is nice, and it's really delicious. It gives it really nice flavor. And then I was only able to, for under $1, I could only get a 1 pound bag of white rice. All of the other rices were way over $1, and even 5 pounds, 10 pounds, all that stuff. The best way, this is not the cheapest way to buy rice. I definitely recommend that if you can, buy a 20-pound bag, because then you're only paying 50 cents a pound. And we buy this Rico rice all the time for $9.97 for a 20-pound bag. So it's only 50 cents a pound that way. So I don't normally buy rice like this. But again, this was all the rice that was under $1. It was the only package that I could get. No dried beans, no lentils, no, everything was way over $1. So I wasn't able to get any of those. But these are just under $1. And then baking soda, store brand or name brand. I don't think it really matters. They're within pennies of each other. Whatever you really prefer, I think is great. But baking soda is a must-have. You use it in your cooking, you use it for cleaning, you use it for so many different things. Baking soda has hundreds of uses and is wonderful to have tons of it on hand. And then we got a few other things here. We got the Jiffy cornbread. You really have to beef this up. It is super dry the way it is. But if you have got, you can add your little can of chilies over here to it, which is wonderful. You can add a can of corn to it. Some cream corn in it is really good. There is just beefing it up can really help it. But for 62 cents, you at least can have a little bit of bread. And they also, Jiffy also makes a pie crust. So if you've got some canned cherries, strawberries, or whatever, canned apples, you can make yourself little turnovers or pies or something like that. So you've got a little dessert, maybe on, Sunday dinner or something a little special. I love to have a big Sunday dinner with the family. It's always nice. And the next thing I got is just some shells and cheese. This is the 3 cheese. I'm not big on these box macaroni and cheese things, but I know lots of people like them. And this is under 50 cents still. So if this is something that your family enjoys, I definitely would stock some of them in the pantry. I really love homemade, or we make our own in the jar. But this is definitely about the same thing, and you can make this really quick and easy. And if you've got any meat, you can add to that, make it a whole meal, which is great. And you can get boxes of pasta. Most of the pasta at Walmart is under $1, which is wonderful. Pasta is a great belly filler. You can put soup on pasta. You can pour it over the top to help stretch that soup out. You can just put anything on it. People eat buttered pasta all the time. We use it as a side sometimes with just butter and pepper on it. And but pasta is great because there's so many different things you can do with it. And there are a bunch of different shapes that you can get for under $1 still. Not usually the name brand stuff. Unfortunately, that has definitely crept over $1. And then instant potatoes, the store brand instant potatoes were just under $1, which is great. You can make a potato soup. You can make it as a side dish. You can pour your soup on potatoes. You could do all kinds of stuff with instant potatoes. We add them to all sorts of things, and they are wonderful to have. This buttered kind is not going to last long term in your pantry because of the fats that are added to it. But if you go with a more expensive, bigger box, it's cheaper per pound and per ounce. But if you go with the bigger plain box with nothing in it but potatoes, those are going to last long term. And you can repackage those and get them sealed up for your pantries, which is great. And then we found a pizza crust mix for 74 cents, which was wonderful because if you've got your tomato sauce, you can make pizza sauce really easy by just adding some spices to it and a little bit of cheese, and you can cut up your little Vienna sausages on it if you have to. But making a little pizza or just a cheese pizza is great as well. And pizza crust is wonderful for all kinds of stuff. You could also make cinnamon rolls out of this or anything like that. You can do tons of stuff. Just because it says pizza on it doesn't mean that's the only thing it's for. We like to experiment with our foods and find different things to do with them. And pizza crust does usually make pretty good cinnamon rolls. And then I found chicken stuffing. This is a nice big bag. A lot of people don't eat a lot of stuffing outside of the holidays, but it's good to have it. If there's no grocery stores when the holidays come around and you've got a few boxes of this, at least you've got some stuffing to go with, I don't know, canned chicken or if you've got a frozen chicken or anything like that. It's wonderful to have as a side. We use it in casseroles as well as a topping for casseroles. It is delicious. Really adds a lot of flavor. The next thing I got, so we got a few desserts here. The next thing I got is a devil's food cake. And there was only like 3 or 4 boxes that were only $1. But this is wonderful for, you know, little Jimmy's birthday or anything like that. Your husband's birthday, you don't have money to go out to the store. You've got this cake mix. You know, I like homemade cake, but this will do in a pinch. This is great for muffins, cupcakes, all kinds of stuff. So, you know, don't count these out. Definitely. I prefer homemade, but, you know, you do what you can. And I'll eat the store brand, you know. It's better than starving, and it's better than nothing. So, the next thing I got is great value, has dark chocolate. $1 for a bar. I was pretty surprised to find this, but I thought if I was going to make this cake, I would want to shave a little bit of chocolate on top of it to spruce it up a little bit, because I'm probably just going to use some powdered sugar to make a frosting, and then a little bit of shaved chocolate on top. It's going to make it look like $1,000,000, and it's going to really add to that flavor. You could even shave some in there to add extra rich chocolate flavor. So thinking outside the box when you are filling your pantry, I think is so important. And then I picked up some sugar-free pudding. You can get sugar-free or the regular pudding, whatever you like. We grabbed that, and some orange Jell-O, because these are really super easy to make. Jell-O, you only need boiling water. You can add your mixed fruit to this, and it makes a nice snack, especially for the kids. It's something different. I mean, we don't hardly ever eat Jell-O, but once in a while I'll bust out a box, and the kids love it. They think it's great. Just a little something different. And the pudding, you can add that to your cakes. You can add it to layered bars. You can do all kinds of stuff with it, really. And then the last thing for food, I think, no, there's one more. I picked up for oatmeal. I think oatmeal is really important in your pantry. And for $1, if you're looking for simple and easy, these little cups are simple and easy. Just add water to it. It is really easy. And you can stack tons of these on the shelf in the pantry. So you've got quick, easy breakfast for whenever you need them. But obviously your plain oats are going to be a lot cheaper for the amount that you get. And then the last thing I have over here for food, I have a couple other things. But the last thing for food, and I am not a Kool-Aid drinker, but I figured lemonade would be wonderful if all you've got is water and you don't have your juices or your coffees or any of that stuff that you normally drink. This is going to be a little bit better than just plain water. And once in a while, making a little bit of Kool-Aid will be a nice treat just to add some flavor. And, you know, you could do any kind of the Kool-Aid, and you just need to add your sweetener to it. So if you like it unsweetened, that's okay. Or you could use any sweetener you like instead of, it says to use sugar, but you don't have to. You could use any sweetener. And then I have just a couple household items that I think are important. This is definitely not my favorite toilet paper, but in a pinch, you betcha, I would stock this stuff up. For under $1, 4 rolls of toilet paper. Definitely, you want to have a good supply of toilet paper. If things get wonky and crazy, can't afford toilet paper, you'd be happy with this. I would definitely be happy with this for emergency toilet paper. So I thought this is a great idea just to stock because it is so inexpensive. And then dish soap, you want to make sure you've got plenty of soaps. The amount of soap you get for $1 is really not that much. I think you could probably do a little bit better at Dollar Tree. At $1.25, you can get probably twice the size of soap. But, you know, having soap is really important. You're going to want to clean everything. And then the next thing are these little sauce bottles. These were just under $1, I think 94 cents. But you can make all your own sauces and save a ton of money. If you are making your own barbecue sauce, your own ketchup, your dressing for salad, anything like that, All of those things are much more expensive pre-made at the grocery store. But investing in a couple of these little squeeze bottles can be a huge money saver for you over time if you're making your own sauces. So I think these are great to have in the pantry. So when you want to make your own sauces, you've got something you can actually put it in that's useful. And then to go with our little cake, I thought it would be wonderful to have some just cupcake liners. Makes it easier on the dishes. And we like the cupcake liners. I keep a lot of these in my pantry because they're affordable, it's easier, and it's not so hard to clean the pans after. And the cupcakes come out really simple. And muffins and things like that. And then last but not least, because no haul's complete without matches. You got to have matches to light fires in any emergency. If you're going to be cooking, you're going to want to have matches so you can light a candle, light your little burners, anything like that. Barbecue, you want to have matches and ways to light fires. So I find that these little 10 packs, these are usually what I buy because you get so many more in them. This has 320 in this package for 97 cents. And the big box that they sell right next to it is the same price, but there's only 250 matches in there. So I try to always go for these little 10 packs because you get almost 100 more matches for the same price. And that is it for my $1 or less items that you can stock in your prepper pantry. And you could buy all of these items today at the grocery store. Some of them are really close to $1. A couple are right at $1. I think there was 3 $1 items. But these are wonderful to have in your pantry to add to what you have. If you are just stocking rice and beans, that gets old really quick. And having a good variety. So even if you have just rice and beans, adding some of these 50 or 70 cent seasonings to your stockpile can really help you by changing that up. And you can still make your rice and beans. You can make tons of meals from this $33 that I have here. So get those pantries full and be ready because things are just getting crazier by the day. I'm always astounded by the news and it's just ridiculous. I can't even believe what state this country's in. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you next time. Bye.